Do you need money? I paused to think for a second. I think I'm okay. I have $40. She nods her head and closes back the room door. I check my outfit in the full length mirror I have on the back of my door. Always look cute to walk out a nigga's life, I say out loud and start laughing at myself. I am really silly, but I also really mean it too. I grab my money off the dresser and slide it into my back pocket. I look for my house keys, which were on my tall dresser. I put them in my front pocket and get ready to walk out of my room. I pause to think of anything else. I can't, so I walk out and close the door behind me. My mother is in the living room on the phone, so I mouth to her I'm leaving. She nods her head. I open the apartment door, close it behind me, prepare to lock it, and press for the elevator. I get in the elevator and press L for the lobby. When I get to the lobby, I hear a giggle. The voice sounds familiar enough. I walk towards the front door of the building, and Lauren is standing with Jason. These two make me sick equally. Talk so much junk about each other, but right back at it. This is exactly why I ignore both of their complaints about the other. Where you going, nerd? Lauren asks. Left rack. Tony? I nod my head. Call me later then, girl, she says in a giddy tone. I roll my eyes kinda playfully, but more in an exhausted manner. Hi, Summer. Hello, Jason. My tone is unenthusiastic. Not because he did anything, because he just called her a hoe. I continue out of the building and head toward the bus stop. I see the bus coming up the hill, so I get ready to cross the street. I walk a little bit faster to catch it. I didn't want to run because it was kind of hot, and if I miss it and run, I'll be more annoyed than if I just miss it. The bus gets to the red light, which helps me cross the street to make it to the bus stop in time. The bus comes across the light and is almost completely empty, which means I should get there pretty quickly. I pay my fare and take my seat in the middle of the bus, in a window seat. The bus seems more like a cab than we were cruising down the street. We stop about twice, and for the rest of the stops, no one is waiting. I get off the bus and head toward Tony's building. I look up toward the sky and it's starting to get a little bit cloudy. I hope it doesn't rain. I don't have an umbrella with me. I walk into her building and there's a doorman I've never seen before, so I don't even bother. I buzz her apartment and quicker than I can get to the door, it's buzzed open. I walk through the lobby, which is huge. They have a giant fountain in a very open space. I walk by it and head toward the elevator. I press the up button and stand back to wait for one of the three elevators to return back to the lobby. As the elevator dings, making its way down the floors, I look up to see which floor it's on. I position myself to the one I believe is going to reach the lobby first. The doors open and Fame looks shocked to see me. The fuck you going with this on? Oh gosh, not this again. Shorts and a shirt. I step back to give more room for him to exit the elevator. He has a girl behind him who looks a bit confused at our interaction. They both walk out the elevator. Fame smiles and pulls me in for a hug. You're going to snap my neck, I say muffled in his chest. He chuckles. This is my baby sister, Summer. Summer, this is my baby, Jackie. I smile at her. Now she looks thrilled to see me. I want to shake my head because Fame is always with somebody new. She was cute though. They usually all are anyway. Jackie is really petite with long curly brown hair down her back and she has bright green eyes. She looked Dominican or just light skinned. Pretty girl either way. Hi, I say. She waves in a giddy fashion. Fame winks at me, which almost makes me start laughing, but I can't ruin his whatever he's doing. Where you going? He asks in an authoritative tone. Tony's. The chocolate one, he asks and appears thinking. Yes, Fame, excuse me. Be home by 10. I laugh. Mommy said 12, so whatever. Bye. I step into the elevator and press the button to Tony's floor. Nice to meet you, Summer, Jackie says with a big smile. You too, girl, I smile back playfully. I stick my middle finger up at Fame as the door closes. He starts laughing and puts his arm around Jackie. I get to Tony's floor and I hear her mother yelling before I even get to the door. I decided to wait until the yelling stopped to knock. It was already awkward. No need to make it worse. I was outside the door feeling like a weirdo. After her mother stopped yelling, I counted to 45 before I knocked. Who? Tony shouted from behind the door. Summer, I say in a low tone but loud enough to be heard. She unlocks the door but seems aggravated. Give me a minute, I'll be out. She rolls her eyes before she just lets the door close. I step back and lean on the wall furthest away from her door. She'll be able to see me when she walks out. It took her about 5 minutes before she came out, and she looked anything but happy. I will be so glad when I get the fuck out of here, she says as she exits the apartment. Just finding a reason to bitch and complain, she continues. I don't interrupt her and let her get it all off her chest. We start walking toward the elevator. So she's like, Tony, before you leave, do the dishes. I say, okay, even though it's not my day. But we all know her son doesn't have to do anything. He's the baby. I'm doing the dishes. Then she comes throwing dirty clothes at me. Why didn't I do the laundry? I said I am tomorrow. She starts swinging, talking about how I'm always in the street. That's when you knocked. I was pissed. I just want to leave. Damn, I reply in acknowledgement of what she's saying. I don't have a reply because what can I say? But I didn't want her to think she was talking and I didn't care. She presses the button to call the elevator. Anyway, girl, this butter shit is crazy. 27, she says. I shake my head. Yo, imagine if you would have fucked him. Definitely wasn't happening. I barely liked the nigga. Not if you did. Oh, yeah, that's crazy. We get into the elevator and ride to the lobby in silence. We walk from her side of the building to Robin and Mac's side. The doorman buzzes us into their side since he knows Tony's face. We walk toward the elevator. You know what you want to say. She breaks the silence. Nigga, you want to go to jail? We both start laughing extremely hard. As we approach the elevator, the doors open. No one was around, so that was a bit odd, but whatever. We get in and press the floor to head up to the apartment. You nervous? She asks as the door closes. No, I'm the minor. We start laughing again. We get to the floor and the doors open. I take a deep breath. I wasn't scared, but I really wanted an answer as to why he lied. Like, what can you possibly say? You're 27. I'm 15. Like, huh? You knew my age from the beginning and you knew yours. Tony knocks on the door and Mac opens it almost instantly. My favorite duo, he says with a smile. He reaches for Tony to give him a hug and she leans to the side like to half hug him. It was more not a hug than a hug. Butter was sitting on the couch and his face lights up when he sees me. My favorite girl, he says in a sing-song tone. I smirk because I'm flabbergasted. He comes and gives me a big hug and squeezes. I haven't seen you in so long, right? I reply in a dry tone. He looks taken aback but keeps speaking. I'm shocked but happy y'all knocked on the door. I was working on some music. I needed a break. I nod my head. Y'all want some food? I could order pizza, Mac asks. Nah, I reply kinda quickly. Butter looks confused. Is everything okay? Yeah, I want to ask you something, but just me and you. Mac looks over at Butter and gives a smirk. This dirty ass old man probably thinking I want to do something sexual. Y'all could go in Jermaine's room, but remember, it's Jermaine's room. I shake my head, more disbelief. I know he's aware of Butter's age. Butter walks toward the room and I follow. He stands by the room door as I walk in. Should I close it? How old are you? He pauses and takes a seat on the edge of the bed. I remain standing, just looking at him, waiting for an answer. He pauses. What made you ask? How old are you? He looks like he's thinking of how to get out of it without me knowing. Are you 27? Yeah, he says in a low tone. And you remember I said I'm 15? It's not like what you're thinking. I never expected to actually like you, be nervous around you. All that was true. I started to chuckle in an annoyed manner. I hate when people try to insult my intelligence. A 15-year-old makes you nervous? How dumb you think I am? You thought you was gonna get a young girl sprung, fuck her, and then what? Nah, it really wasn't like that, Summer. So what was it? I tilt my head to the side and cross my arms over my chest, and I look at him seriously. I don't know, but I never intended anything fucked up to come from it. But you have a girl, so wow, someone was really talking to talk. They must like you too. Does it matter? I chuckle in an annoyed manner. Nah, I have a girl, but when I met you, shit was about to be done. Then it wasn't. Then I was into you. But how can I say? I cut him off. How can you admit to lying so you keep going? You said you were single for 2 years. A lie. I asked your age and you lied. And continue to keep going, knowing how old I am. He starts to speak. You don't need to scramble to explain any more lies. I only came because I was curious as to what you'd say. I'm 15, you're 27. You have a nice day. I open the room door and walk toward the living room. You ready? I look at Tony. Yeah, she stands up. Mac looks confused. Butter slowly leaves the room. Robin comes out of the kitchen. Hey, baby, I didn't know you were here. And y'all knew he was 27, right? Robin looks like she saw a ghost. Baby, I didn't know you didn't know. Does it matter if I did? 15, 27, that made sense? This whole shit is fucked up. I don't know why I'm bothering, honestly. I won't be back here ever again in my life. I shake my head and walk toward the door. Summer, baby, Robin says. I open the apartment door and walk toward the elevator. Tony follows out not too long after. You okay? Yeah, you could stay if you want. I want to go home. She pauses. Oh, I mean, I'll walk you to the bus. I'm just so annoyed. He was trying to make excuses like I'm a dumbass. The elevator door opens and I step inside. Tony follows behind me and presses the lobby button. Then the door closes. Did he admit to it? Barely. I had to drag it out. Then I really do like you. Like, nigga, what? I roll my eyes. Tony shakes her head. You think he was trying to fuck? For sure. We get to the lobby and walk out the front door toward the bus stop. But why? He's almost 30. Getting caught is insane. He figured you'd run with him being 18, I guess. Probably. We get ready to walk over the overpass. You don't have to walk with me if you don't want to. Nah, I can. I thought you was coming to chill too. I was, but then it got me more mad than I expected. I just want to go. Yeah, I get that. We stroll walking over the overpass. We talk a bit more toward the bus, but I was mostly just replying. Tony started talking about her and Cruz, which was fine. I was just in my head. The bus came fairly quickly. I told her I'd call her later as I got on the bus. I paid my fare and sit down. I should have taken a cab home. I could feel the annoyance showing on my face. Thankfully, this bus was mostly empty and no one sat next to me. No one tried to talk to me either. I get to my stop and get ready to walk up this long block. I get off the bus and start walking up the block. I still feel angry about Butter, but I also started thinking about Champion. I miss him. This makes me feel bad about Tavior. Was I too abrupt in breaking up with him? Honestly, if I had to choose between him and Champion, I'd choose Champion. So why do I feel bad? I keep asking myself this, but I don't have an answer, and it's bothering me.